Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs Mayor and Council. Today is March 11th, 2020. It is now approximately 9:06 p.m. We're getting a little late start here because our caucus ran over due to some confidential matters in closed session that we had to discuss. Given that there's a coronavirus pandemic, we have made sure that where you are sitting and where you have walked through tonight has been disinfected regularly, including right before this meeting, and we will continue doing so. We are also trying to find a way to webcast these meetings in the future, so people who wish to watch and perhaps even participate remotely may be able to do so, or if they just don't feel well and don't want to get others unwell, can stay home and watch. So we are endeavoring to do some type of webcast in the future. I call the meeting to order. Please rise to the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence for a resident who passed away recently, Nancy Luglas, and another resident, Ed Talia. Thank you. Madam Clerk, have a roll call, please.
Mayor Kranjak?
Here.
Oh, Mayor, I apologize. For the record, I didn't state before during caucus that Councilman Farrell did participate and arrived at 6:45.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilpersons Farrell?
Here.
Savari?
Here.
O?
Here.
Aversa?
Here.
Wu?
Here.
Borough Attorney? And Municipal Clerk. Everyone's present, Mayor.
I'm here too.
Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, I'm sorry. And Councilman Song.
Thank you. Okay, we're all here.
Sorry.
And I thank everyone for being here tonight. So, can I also have the Open Public Meetings Act statement read into the record, please?
Adequate notice of the meeting was given... What's that? What kind of bag?
Like a briefcase,
Oh.
Is it making any sound?
No, you know what? It could be... It's from their laptop from court office. It's the court office. Okay. I apologize.
Yeah, so we're actually permitting the Palisade Interstate Park Commission to use our courtroom, use our caucus room daily because of the fire that they had at their Alpine building. They've been here, and that fire happened on January 1st, so we extended some hospitality to them, and so the room is being used by everyone, and that goes back to my earlier comment that there are a lot of people in and out of here, so we are disinfecting daily.
Okay. Adequate notice of this meeting was given to the press and posted as required. Date and time of this meeting were legally given as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. This notice is on file with the municipal clerk and posted on the bulletin board. Minutes of this meeting will be made available to the public upon the completion of typing and proofreading by the municipal clerk.
Thank you. Next on the agenda was a proclamation for a resident high school student, Olivia Kravitsky, who won a Regeneron Science Award recently. So we recognized her for this important month celebrating the accomplishments of women. So we actually moved that part of the program up to the caucus because we were running late. And you can watch the video of the caucus where Olivia actually spoke about her project, which I don't think any of us up here understood completely. Next on the agenda is the Borough Charity Project. We are still collecting food donations for the Office of Concerned Food Pantry of St. Cecilia's Church in Englewood. There's a table out front, and you could bring food tomorrow as well. And I thank anyone who's done that tonight. Department head reports for February 2020. We received those. I assume we all reviewed them. If anyone had any questions, you could let Lizette know, and she'll get you an answer. Or if there's anything you want to talk about tonight regarding those department head reports, feel free to just state so now. Okay, there's no correspondence to mention. There's 5 different meeting minutes that we need to have approved, and I'll let the Borough Clerk go through each one of those for approval.
Can we vote on them together? And if somebody needs to vote no, recuse, abstain, you could just let me know. Just trying to save time, is that okay? Okay, minutes. Caucus, January 15, 2020. Regular, January 15, 2020. Special meeting, January 21, 2020. Caucus meeting to February 12, 2020. And special meeting, February 20, 2020.
Do you have a motion to approve those?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, so that's a motion to approve all of those, and there's a second.
Councilperson Sparrow?
Yes.
Yes to all?
Yes to all.
Thank you. Savari?
Yes to all.
O.
Yes to all.
Sung?
Yes to all.
Aversa?
Yes to all, but the special meeting of 2:20, I wasn't there.
So you're abstaining?
Yes.
2:20. Wu?
Yes to all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If there's anyone from the public who wishes to be heard, please raise your hand, permit me to recognize you, come up to the microphone, and state your name and address.
Okay, would you like to, for the record?
When he's done.
Okay. She would like to correct the record.
Yeah, for the record, Mayor, I'd like to correct my vote for approving the minutes for the special meeting for February 20th. I was not here.
Okay.
So you'll be abstaining.
Correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Yes, Ms. Geiger.
Karen Geiger, 270 Alfred.
Accurate.
One of the items on the agenda is for the traffic signal at the corner of 9W and Middlesex to be modified because LG is opening. Can you tell me how it's being modified?
Joe can talk about that.
Yeah, I think this is just setting forth the terms of the responsibilities for the maintenance of the light going forward, it being you've got LG, and you've got the county, and you've got us, all of which are playing a role in the light being there and monitoring it, and whose responsibility is to save.
The light is there now.
No, I understand that, but it's there based on the assumption that this agreement would be
So this is an
agreed.
agreement that's in effect to codify what exists.
Are there any
But
changes?
the responsibilities of what exists, yes.
Are they changing it at all in terms of what?
Well, I don't know what your prior ordinance said on this, but this is basically about who's going to be paying for the utilities and what happens in the future if it has to be moved, who's responsible.
But it's not changing the fact that it's going to be a signal that's,
No,
so any of the way in which it currently
No.
works, because it talks about
No.
buttons being pressed and
to my knowledge, there's no
Consumers-
changes in how to
safety.
operate.
Are they doing a crosswalk there?
That's not part of this,
I think your question is
probably
more...
was part of the original.
Yeah,
My
no,
question is an
I think her
operational
question is
one.
more operational.
I think so too,
so you're not...
I'll look into it to
it's
find
not-
out if there's anything
I just
different,
didn't
but
know,
there's
because
nothing
it
in the
exists
agreement
now,
that-
so I was
If
surprised.
it mentioned that their buttons must be a crosswalk.
I think they are
Yeah.
going to try to help their employees and visitors cross the street there and visit the commercial location.
Well, you can currently cross the street, and you can currently do all those things, so I
Is there
want to know
crosswalk?
how it's changing. I don't know.
By pressing the button, it would change the cycle to...
Well, that might be a problem for the traffic. So I wouldn't be, I mean, it's very nice if they want to allow people to cross the street, but there's a lot of traffic that's going to be going down, and people who turn off Middlesex to get into my part of the town, west of Middlesex, need that turn signal. So anything that would curtail the movement of traffic by stopping it in an unprecedented way or for too long a time or haphazardly is something we should be concerned about as residents. So I really would like to know what's being changed operationally.
Probably say...
Do you know the answer, Mr. Farrow?
No, I don't know the answer.
So then
and
please
don't
let the borough attorney find out, or let the borough
Please be
administrator.
polite. He was going to
I am,
respond to you. You're not being polite. Please.
but
I was just going to mention to you that 9W on Palisade has the same thing with the buttons, and there is no change.
That may
It's just
be.
to give a chance to the pedestrian.
But
to
there
walk
aren't
across.
that many people crossing the street at 9W as there might be at LG, and that is the way you turn into the southern part of town. So I would like to know if that's changing in any way, so
I will look
we
to
can
see if there's
respond to
anything.
it.
My understanding is that it's not, but I will look into it.
Thank you.
But it's also being done consistent with the Department of Transportation for the state of New Jersey, because it's a state highway.
But the borough obviously has a role in talking to the Department of Transportation. That's part of any study that's done when it's changed. It may be that nothing's changed and that's significant. I'd just like to know. Also, resolution number 70. Can you tell us what that is about, other than affordable housing?
You want me to take that?
Yeah.
We were recommended by the council for the affordable housing case to put a resolution in place that outlined what the borough's position has been throughout the litigation, and explaining in part the decisions that the council has made. Because we don't feel, or he doesn't feel, and I think the council, by doing this resolution, has said that they don't feel that their side of the story as to what's gone on with the affordable housing case has been put out publicly. So this is an attempt to try, by this council, I think, to put out to the public to show what it is that they have intended to do, what they were willing to do, and what they're willing to do in the future.
Well, would you explain to the public what those elements are?
How much time do you have?
As long as, for this one, I think I have a lot of time.
Well, I think it's better if you just read the resolution.
But when are we going to get it? We have to wait, and then it's already adopted. What if we have questions
No,
about it?
I think that,
That's quite all right. I don't see any problem with us adopting the resolution and then having the public see it afterwards. It should only been part of the discussion 5 minutes
But
ago.
the public may have comments
The public can
on
make
it.
the comments.
Well,
When?
here, maybe what we could do is...
Next week, next month?
Hold on, I understand what you're
After it's
asking.
submitted?
It's a good point. Maybe what we should do is have the clerk read the resolution as revised. Do you have
The
that?
entire resolution? I'd
No,
rather take
he-
a 10-minute break and have her go back to the office.
No, he took it. He did not give it to me, and I don't think he's emailed.
We're checking. It had
Okay.
changed in closed session,
Right.
so we want to give you the right information.
Oh.
Normally, I would be at no problem with her reading it, but it is 10 pages long.
I don't know if I can...
And it's hard to read it and really understand it as the person who's hearing it. It's much easier if they read it themselves.
Yeah, so,
I can't.
the problem is...
Five people are on it.
Download.
Is she still here, by any chance?
No. Let's see if I can forward it to you.
I thought you didn't have it.
No, I just checked.
Oh,
You should have it.
Mm-mm. He didn't send it either.
okay. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't have it.
Right, does anybody have it?
I
You can
can't.
download it. and then-
I would just...
Go ahead. By luck of the draw, whoever downloads it gets to read it.
oh, gosh.
Glendale. Save your baby.
I don't mind reading it.
But I don't think he,
It's really not my baby. I had nothing to do with the production of this. It's the attorney.
I can't tell. should.
Give it a minute.
Let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah? No, I can't even forward it. I tried to forward it to one of you. Give me 1 second.
Ms. Geiger, if you wish, you can have a seat. It's still your time.
Let's take it.
Can we continue to see if there are questions or comments?
Yeah, so, just here. Through the end of March.
I can't forward it. I just think,
Maria, did you reach out to the
No. no.
Can I just suggest that maybe what if we just take a brief adjournment, go over and print it out?
I could do that.
I mean, just,
We're going to take a,
Or can we continue the meeting and then give it to the resident at the end?
okay, so
Before we close?
before we vote, we should get it to the resident. If
All right,
you want,
so-
we could have you go to your office and get it,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll continue the public portion. If we're done with the public portion, we'll wait for you to come back.
Then, you know how to do this? Just stop it here.
Okay.
Okay, give me a few minutes.
Did you have anything else, Ms. Geiger? No. We're getting that for you and for everyone else. It just came in,
Just came through. Second reason. It's the first one.
anybody else in the public wishing to be heard? Yes.
Mostly true.
Lauren Eastwood, Four-Wheeler Drive. I'm looking at Resolution 2064, under which you propose to pay Al Wunsch money on legal matters which the borough receives an insurance defense on. And I'd like to know why we're paying insurance and then paying again for Mr. Wunsch.
well, I don't think that he's billing for the same things that the insurance carrier is billing for. These are the same matters that we put him on assignment on last year, and he would be continuing in the same role that he was in before.
Last year, when you had $2.5 million of legal bills. I'm sorry, if insurance is covering it, it should be insurance and that's it, not insurance and your political supporter.
So I agree with the resident. Actually, I'm going to mention this later, but I'll mention it right now. I don't think that the council that just terminated Al Wunsch should be rehiring Al Wunsch to do anything regarding affordable housing or regarding anything else that's listed there, and I'll explain why. In affordable housing, Al Wunsch actually spent last year excluding William and me from knowing what he was working on at the direction of the Democratic majority of the council. He verbally abused members of the governing body in closed session. He physically assaulted a member of the governing body in closed session.
He did not.
He's represented police officers adverse to the borough, and now he is going to represent the borough adverse to his former clients, potentially. He's represented people last year in court who had traffic violations. So while he was a borough attorney, he was representing people against the borough. And most recently, there's a case, I believe, in Closter as well, where it was moved from this court because he was representing someone adverse to the borough, but still representing the borough. So, on those grounds themselves, I believe, I have a conflict with Al Wunsch doing anything for the town. And as member of the governing body, by definition, he has to represent all of us. So I don't understand what rules permit him to do that if William and I are adverse to him and he has a conflict with us.
It's his conflict with Councilman Wu.
He excluded him. He violated the law. He excluded him.
That's not a
If
conflict.
you violated the law, then you should sue him.
Well,
After what you're saying,
I don't
I'm
understand
sure that most
I
of
think
what you
the
just said
resident
is a lie.
actually hit it right.
Okay, that's
It's
your
a
take
political
on it.
payback.
It is not
It's
political.
political payback.
No, it's
There
not.
are so many other attorneys you could hire in this state to represent this borough. Why do you hire somebody and then rehire the same person who you just terminated because he's your political, affiliate?
That's
It makes no sense.
That's your opinion.
You basically
That's your
damaged the borough
opinion.
last
You're
year
just-
when you did this, and now you're declaring all-out war on our taxpayers by rehiring this guy, and you could avoid a problem.
No.
There are other attorneys who could do this work and who are not controversial, who are not conflicted, and who are competent. But you refuse to do that because you're controlled politically and you're being told to do this.
Well, that's your
And it's
opinion.
war on our residents when you do that.
It's not a war on our residents. You continue to lie to our residents and to fraud them
Everything I
and to
just...
believe it.
No. You can make
And
up all
you
the
have
stories.
the
I
answers.
just gave you examples
You
of
know
exactly
you
what he
don't.
did wrong.
You know you don't.
Well, now you're talking in
And now
very
you-
unclear language.
Yes,
I'm
just
being
like
very
you are.
concrete.
Oh, you're not concrete at all.
I'm very concrete.
You're not concrete at all.
right.
You
So,
just
I
you just
oppose the
lie
hiring or
repeatedly.
rehiring of Al Wunsch.
Okay, so
In fact,
you
I
don't
think this
vote.
council should be taking a vote to basically launch claims against Al Wunsch for what he's done to this town last year.
Oh, please.
All right. Anybody else? Yes.
Ken Bowen, 178 Middlesex Avenue. Excuse me. With all due respect to this attorney, who I don't know, you're making all these allegations. Wouldn't it be more prudent to have him here to confront the allegations? I don't know. I'd like to get to the bottom. What you're saying may be true, and I don't know. In defense of the man, I'd like to hear both sides. That's all I'm asking.
Call him up.
Excuse me?
Feel free to call him.
He's on the contract with you. He's on the contract with the town, is that correct?
He's not right now.
Well,
They want to hire him.
It's not true.
I guess it's
That's
something
not true. He's still under contract.
well, quite honestly, you're making all these allegations that he did this, he did that. He may very well have done that. I don't know.
No, he didn't.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to be more pragmatic about the situation. You make all these allegations. He did this, he did that, and so on and so forth. I'd like to hear his side of the story.
Call him. I'll give you his number. You can call him. He's not here.
Obviously, he's not here. When I'm talking about a future meeting,
Well, that's fine. You can wait to appoint him and have him come in and defend himself. I'm happy.
I would like to hear that with all due respect.
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to detail all the things that he's done wrong.
Well, I come to these meetings and all I hear is dirty laundry hanging out. I mean, this is what I hear. If you want to hang out your dirty laundry, I suggest you do it in closed quarters, sir. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to get to the bottom of what's going on.
I don't do anything in close quarters. I do it in front of you. You get to comment the way you are right now.
I said, I don't really care what you do in closed quarters.
They do it over there. I do it over here, because I want you to know.
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. That's all. I mean, you want to give me his number? I don't know. Who are you? He's going to say, who am I? I'm a resident, but
Well, I'm
again,
trying to protect you as a resident, because I know what this guy has done, and I know how much we paid him for doing this stuff that just doesn't work for our town, and they want to rehire him. And all I'm saying is, there are so many other attorneys who actually are competent, who are not conflicted, who didn't represent police officers, who now are going to be on the other side of the table from him potentially, representing the borough and some of these...
Mr. Mayor,
Let me finish. They want to hire, they're trying to hire him to do internal affairs and pending internal affairs. These are
Affordable
things that
housing.
he shouldn't be touching as an attorney, because he represented police officers, right?
I don't know. That's why I'm up here asking
For one
you.
reason or another, why would I make that up? Why would I make it up? He was here with Captain Murphy. He represented Captain Murphy last year, 2 years ago. And then he shows up representing the borough. You can't do that as an attorney. You have to pick a side. Either you're working for the town or you're working for the PBA. But you can't work for both.
Well, Mr. Mayor, you make a point. There's always, two sides to a story. And I want to hear both sides. He's doing this, he's doing that, more power to the guy.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we have him come in, and he could defend himself? I'm happy to do that next meeting.
I would like to. I want to hear his side of the story. If I ask you, if this is out of order, let me know.
No, I'm fine with it. I agree.
I hear all these allegations. Every time you go to these meetings, you blame everybody else. I don't understand it. I like to hear both sides of the story, sir.
I don't blame. I give you facts.
I don't know if they're facts. Quite honestly, I don't know. You want to get into facts, I would like to know facts. I really
I
don't.
give you facts. Why would I make up anything? You think that at 9:30 on a Wednesday evening, I want to make up facts about Al Wunsch?
Listen, I don't care what the time is. I'm here also. I know everybody's tired. But, every time I come to these meetings, the allegations about A, B, C, D, and so on.
Right, and these are things that before I was mayor, no one would ever know what was going on, because nobody would ever tell you people. And I'm telling our residents exactly what's happening here. I know some of it sounds outrageous, I'm telling you, but this has actually happened. Councilman Wu will back me up on this. Councilman Farrow will back me up on this. They see it. They know what's happening.
Mr. Mayor, every time you come here, you come out late, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just telling you what I hear from you. Every meeting I come to, I've come to maybe 7 meetings, and maybe 8, and it's the same thing. I don't see anything getting accomplished. Let me finish. I don't hear anything constructive. I hear allegations about A, B, C, about Mr. Versa, Mr. Song, Mrs. Zoe, Mrs. Sabari. And, I just want to get to the bottom. I want to hear both sides. You're an attorney, I'm not. Every time I've come here, to me, it's smoke and mirrors.
You want me to make it all sound really nice for you?
Listen, I want to hear the truth. I'm not looking for anything nice.
You know what?
I want the truth.
Don't watch videos from before I was mayor. It all sounds really nice.
I'm not going to do that. I have to do with you, sir. You're the mayor. You're the elected official.
I don't like what you're hearing, and I'm telling you the facts.
Please don't.
I'm not saying I don't like what I'm hearing. I'm asking you want to hear both sides. That's all, Mayor. What's wrong with
I
that?
can't argue his side. He's got to be here. Bring him in.
I'm asking you to bring him in here.
I'm asking the council to bring him in here. I'm agreeing with you.
It doesn't sound that way. It sounds like an argument. I'm trying to make a point, then we go off into one another.
Because you're saying I blame people. I don't blame anyone. I tell you the facts.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, please.
You could come to your own conclusions, sir.
Well,
And if one wants to come in here and defend his record, fine with me.
He doesn't have to. There's going to be a vote taken.
See, they don't want
by
that.
the mayor and council, and the majority will vote how they vote.
Okay.
And either he will be hired or he won't be hired.
I don't care if he's right or not.
These matters are all current litigations that
should
we
care.
can't discuss anyway.
No, I'm not listening. I'm not asking that. But if you're telling me he's done this, and so on and so forth, I'd like to hear his side. You're up there saying making all these allegations. That's all I'm asking. I'm not looking to argue with
You
you.
said you don't care if he's hired. As a resident, you should care. You
What'd you say? Repeat that again?
You said that you don't care if he's hired or not.
That's your decision.
No,
That's your decision, not mine.
Let me finish. As a resident who's taken time to come here on a Wednesday night, you should care that he's
I
hired.
do care. That's why I'm here, Mr.
You
Mayor.
said you didn't care.
I'd like to know the truth. I care. I cannot make that decision if you're going to hire or fire the guy. I don't know.
This
That's your
president does not have
decision.
the information we have. So he cannot make a decision as to whether Al Wunsch is the appropriate authority
Why
or
would you tell him
not.
what happened? Why would you tell him who
So
you
I don't
represented?
understand why you're harassing the resident.
I'm not harassing.
The resident
I'm agreeing with you.
went out and voted, and
I
these
want Al
council
Wunsch to
members
come in
have
here
a
and
responsibility to do what's right by the
I want Al
town.
Wunsch
And
to
we're
come in
making
here
our
and defend
decisions
himself.
based on
Yes.
what we
But
believe
you
is
don't want
right
him
for
to
the
come in here
town.
because you know the truth.
I don't think he needs to come in here.
Debbie,
All right.
I think the mayor's position is very reasonable. Just, we have many choices we
So
can make
are we
for the
going to make
council.
everybody come in?
Why do we have to go back
why do we have to go back to Al Wunsch, right? I mean, I know you can say his allegations and this and that,
Vote
but
no.
I will.
That's my answer.
It's fine, you can, there's many choices, don't even know that, so
Of course
there's
I
no need
do.
to raise your
I
voice.
think about all of
There's
them.
many choices you guys can make, and that's not the right one.
Oh, it is the
Yes.
right one.
We disagree with Javier and Watch.
Okay, no, you can agree to disagree.
We are in the minority. The majority wants to hire. So that's it.
That's the way it works.
That's the way it works.
Anybody else?
We'll move on.
Okay, I'm going to recess until Ms. Duffy comes back.
Well, is there anybody else who...
Very simple.
Are we closing to the public?
Let's close
We
Motion to
can't
close?
close to the public, because the public still has questions. So we're going to keep it open, we're just going to take a recess.
You can close and go through the rest, as long as you open again.
We need our clerk.
Yeah, we are close.
Before you close.
Yeah, you can't come back up, guys. Say your name and address.
That's Fahrenheit Marjorie. I read in the paper an article from, about Park Ridge, that, I assumed that they had a high, affordable housing number given to them, and they negotiated or whatever. According to the article, it was reduced. They approached the powers who make the decision. Would that have any effect on us? Does anybody have any communication with Park Ridge as to how it came about that they reduced their number for affordable housing? Is there any communication or knowledge of it, or?
That's a different town, but I don't know if Mr. Marinello wants to answer your question.
I'm not the affordable housing lawyer for the town, but I'm sure that they're aware of what's gone on in Park Ridge. They're keeping tabs on all the other jurisdictions in Bergen County, so I'm sure that they're aware of it.
No.
I mean, I'm not on that file, so I can't tell you for certain, but I would suspect that they...
I would hope so, because, like I said, according to the paper,
Yeah.
they had a number, and then it was reduced. Our numbers, every time I read it, they go up. And, as far as the taxpayer, that's the only thing I'm concerned about. My taxes, going up or staying stable. That's what I moved here for a stable tax structure, but it's been a turmoil ever since. Everybody runs to get elected to cooperate, and we don't seem to be getting much cooperation. I don't know why. We have to keep fighting and arguing over every single item in the agenda, but I wish we would be a little more cooperating. And would this have an effect on us automatically, the reduction, or it wouldn't affect us at all? Each town is negotiated
Each town is
individually?
independent, yes.
There's no general number. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? I'm going to put us into recess. We need the clerk here to go through the other items on the agenda. We're coming out of a 15-minute recess. Ms. Geiger had the floor. We handed out a resolution, which is number 70, regarding affordable housing. And since it's a new resolution that no one has seen, if you want to come up again, we'll entertain you to come back up. Okay.
Hi.
Just say your name
It's
again.
been cleaned, okay. I don't even know anymore.
Say your name again for the record.
Karen Geiger, 270 Alfred. You should have said that this was basically the summary of Mr. Serenian's brief to the court that he submitted over a month ago. I think it would have resolved the issue. It made me wonder why several members of this council didn't want to or try to terminate him when he had come up with a brief and submitted it that basically gives the municipality a basis for moving forward. I do have a question, however, about this, and it has to do with Section 2, on the last page. And what I don't understand is the number that the court gave us as an RDP, I believe is 347, if I'm correct. If you take out the LG property, which is the essence of this, you eliminate 136 units from that. I think you take out another 6 to 12 when you eliminate the lighthouse property from that. And you come up with a number, if my calculation is correct, it's around 200 units that are left. I'd like to know how the borough intends, without spending any money, which is what it says it doesn't have to do, or what the attorneys are contending we don't have to do. How do we build our own, and how does that weigh in with Normandy, who has stated in court papers that they're ready, willing, and able to build on property that is part of the RDP?
I'm not sure which number you're questioning.
I'm looking at the 174 RDP.
Okay, well, the 174 RDP doesn't take into account Normandy's property.
Doesn't it take into account Normandy's property, or it doesn't take into account LG's property?
No, it takes into account LG's property.
Can you please then explain how you get to the 174?
It's, off the top of my head, 136 is the new LG property. 30 odd units is what they refer to as the lighthouse, which is property on the north side, and then scattered properties throughout town, contributing to the RDP of 174.
Okay.
There is not an RDP equated to the 800 Sylvan property. It was referred to as unmet need.
However, the judge, as I recall, in her opinion, said that if that an unmet need would be considered RDP, as she came up with the number. She started at the 347.
That refers to a process of appeal, and then it would be 167, which would equate to 835 units on that site. But I'm not sure what your
What I'm trying to understand is what the borough's argument is that would allow the borough to contend that it can meet its affordable housing obligation and still have no affordable housing units built at 800 Sylvan. I'm just not understanding how that works with the numbers that we've been given by the... I know, I've read this.
There's 10 pages there.
No, I've read this before, because this isn't new.
And the borough's position is that we have a right to cure, and that the master's opinion should have been taken into recommendation, and that's what we're saying, that we should have been allowed to build, and that's what we will build.
So you were going to build 174 units?
No, that's not what the master's... That's not what the
master came up
master's
with
recommendations
146.
was.
And then she amended it up.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the borough will build the 146 plus amendment, whatever, 152, whatever the number is.
Less the rental bonuses. Yes, 25%.
And the rental bonuses on the total construction, or on the 57 units? I guess what I'm trying to understand is, and I don't understand it from this document, although I understand the logic in this document, as I said, because it's not a new document, is I don't understand what the borough is committing to or not committing to based on this document. If you could just summarize that and make it simple. The borough is saying they will expend X, or the borough is saying they will expend nothing, or what is the borough saying? Very simply, take the 10 pages of legal argument, most of them are legal arguments, And what is it that the borough is committing to?
The borough is committing to cure whatever that RDP number is. We will build it. And we're basing that on Mary Beth's opinion, okay? So that report is public.
Right, so you're saying
From the
that
court.
the 152, for argument's sake,
Let's say, to round it off, it's about 110 units. That should satisfy our obligation.
so you're saying the borough will build 110 units.
We're saying we should have the right to cure, and that's what we believe.
That our requirement is.
No, that's what Mary Beth feels our requirement is. That also could be a little exaggerated. Maybe that number could come down also.
I guess I'll wait for the court interpretations of this, that's all. Thank you.
Well, it's not going to court, it's a resolution that we're putting out
And where is
to the
it
public,
going?
to the residents.
And what is the purpose of it?
Going to the court.
The residents.
So, my understanding is, and I don't agree with what's been written there completely, that it will be attached to a letter to the court, my understanding. I'm going to reserve further comment on it until it comes up on the voting part of the agenda.
So this is a resolution that's being sent to the court.
It's just a resolution. It's just a resolution. That's it.
It's just a resolution.
It's just a
That's
resolution.
all it is.
And how does it differ from the document that has already been submitted to the court?
I don't know. I'm sure it's a lot smaller.
Yes, it is. It certainly is, the 136 pages to... That's the only difference.
I'm sure there's others, but I'm not the author of either one. I can't tell you specifically what the differences are.
Is there anyone else? No motion to close the public portion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Payment of claims, Resolution 20-62, February 13th, 2020, claims through March 11th, 2020, $9,412,540.49. Have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Farrell?
There's some payments there to Wunsch, right?
Yes.
That's right. So I vote yes on all except those one to Wunsch.
Savari?
Yes, to all.
Oh?
Yes, to all.
Song?
Yes to all?
Aversa?
Yes.
Wu?
No.
No to all?
Yes.
Mayor, is there a group that you would like to do as
So,
agenda, or you want them all separate?
Yes, let's see them separate. Resolution 2020-63, approval of LG traffic signal agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I thought that'd be easy.
Yep.
Resolution 2020-64, authorized not to exceed the amount of special litigation counsel, Albert H. Wunsch. So I oppose this,
Second.
but I know that Democrats on council love him so much, you're going to reappoint him.
Was anything changed on the resolution? I mean, I was out, so was anything changed on the resolution, or no? Okay. Councilperson Sparrow?
No?
Savari?
Yes?
Oh?
Yes.
Song?
Yes.
Aversa?
Yes.
Wu?
No.
2020-65, authorized not to exceed amount for Harbor Consultants regarding affordable housing matters.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Sparrow?
Yes?
Savari?
Yes?
Oh?
Yes.
Song?
Yes.
Aversa?
Yes.
Wu?
Yes.
Resolution 2020-66, authorized not to exceed amount for Nassau Capital Advisors LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Sparrow?
Yes?
Savari?
Yes?
Oh?
Yes.
Song?
Yes.
Aversa?
Yes.
Wu?
Yes.
67, I thought we had done this. I thought council had done this at the last meeting.
We did do it by motion, but the request was made at that time that a resolution be put on the agenda, so that's why it's here.
So moved.
Second.
Councilpersons Farrell,
No?
Savari,
Yes.
Poe,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
Aversa,
Yes.
Wu,
No.
Resolution 20-68, promotion of police officer to captain, and this is a promotion
Where's that one?
of
I gave that out separately.
Gerard McDermott to captain.
So moved.
Second.
Councilpersons Farrell,
I'm going to abstain.
Savari,
Yes.
Poe,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
Aversa,
Yes.
Wu,
I will, support the chief's recommendations, yes.
Resolution 20-69, promotion of police officer to captain. This is Captain, Lieutenant Keith Wicker being promoted to captain.
So moved.
Second.
Councilpersons Farrell,
Same, I'm going to abstain.
Savari,
Yes.
Poe,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
Aversa,
Yes.
Wu,
Yes.
Resolution 20-70, this is the affordable housing resolution. It's a summary of where the borough stands on the affordable housing litigation. That document was handed out during the recess. And the public's had an opportunity to review it. I had looked at it last night when I received the draft, and this morning I made edits that were not included, including mentioning that during a non-confidential February 14th meeting with the master, in my view, unlawfully was pressuring the borough to have to build and spend money, even though under Mount Laurel 4 and 2, I believe, also, we're not required to do that. So I view that as wrongful conduct by the court-appointed master. She actually said the judge wanted this to happen. And I view it also, alternatively, as a tax being imposed on the borough by a court, a state court.
This is his opinion.
And so
it's not
that
the
meeting was
attorney's
not
opinion.
confidential also.
And he was the only,
And let me finish. You could speak after. Stop interrupting. You can speak after.
No, I'm not going to allow you to go on with your lie.
No, you should speak after, because that's not a lie. All right, so Tom Troutner and Jeff Serenian both heard the master basically put a gun to our heads and say this,
That's not
which
true.
I reacted to immediately, and I asked our attorneys to evaluate claims, and that's missing from the resolution that this council is considering right now. And my whole purpose here is to be transparent with the public, to make sure you know what's going on, and that's going on. The council could do whatever it wants.
Mayor was the only one on that phone call.
Not true.
And he explains it a
Not
little
true.
differently than the
No, I just
attorneys
said,
did.
I was not the only person
There were
on the phone
attorneys
call.
on that call.
Jeff
who
Serenian
did
and
not-
Tom Troutner.
Wait, did you
Well,
not say
tell
I
the
could
truth.
speak? Did you not say I could
Tell the
speak?
truth.
Can we hear Mr. Savari?
So, beside our attorneys, the only council member and mayor that were on that call was the mayor. I was on a subsequent call
I'm not a council
where it
member.
did not go that way at all. And his description of Mary Beth's behavior is a little different than what myself and a few other council members that were on the second call experienced. So, why are we even having this conversation? I don't know.
I'll tell you why.
But
Because
the mayor's take
the
on this
residents-
is so off the charts that it's just indescribable. Like,
No, you were not on that call. You were not on that call.
The
so-
attorneys were on that
Well,
call, they
listen.
did not describe it the
Well,
same way.
I know when someone is trying to shake us down, and that master was trying to shake us
That
down
is-
during that phone call.
That is
And
not what
that
our
is not
attorney said.
acceptable, and that
And
needs to be
honestly, you should
explained
be
to
ashamed of
the...
yourself.
No, you should
This
be
was
ashamed of
discussed in
yourself,
closed
because I'm
session.
fighting for the residents
You're
of
the
this
reason
town,
that this
and
town
I'm
is
fighting
going
for the
down the
residents of the
tubes.
state of New
You
Jersey.
don't know when to
And
keep
you're
your
just
mouth
being
shut.
political, because
You
the
don't know
politics
when
of
to
this,
keep your mouth
from the
shut.
Democratic Party, require you to cave in
God,
to all this
this
nonsense.
town
The
is going
system
down the
doesn't
tubes because
work.
of this man.
The system does not work. It's rigged against the residents. Yes, Ms. Geiger, it's even rigged against you. It's rigged against every tax-paying resident in New Jersey, because you have a master basically saying, you have to do something, otherwise we're going to make your lives even worse.
Okay.
Okay?
You know what?
And that needs to be adjudicated by a proper court.
Motion to approve Resolution 2070.
I'm sorry, who seconded it? Councilpersons Farrow,
No?
Savari,
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Aversa,
Bathroom break.
Biology break.
Biology break.
oh. Councilman Wu,
I'm voting no because I think there's some omitted facts in here, and there's no purpose to this resolution.
Let's wait for Councilman Aversa to return from the men's room. We need to have his vote.
It passes without it.
Well,
we still need to vote.
We need his vote. He's here, kind of. I hear a flush. Oh, wait a second. Publicly official, not against private.
Sorry, Jane.
Welcome back. We were-
Find a key first, that was the first problem.
We were just waiting for your vote on resolution number 70 regarding with the affordable housing.
Yes.
Ordinances, these are being, there's three of them, they're being introduced tonight by title. Public hearing will be on April 15th, 2020. Resolution 20-01, an ordinance amending the code of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs, Chapter 2, Section 13, entitled, quote, Police Department, close quote, to update the table of organization and other sections. Make a motion.
So moved?
Second.
Councilpersons Farrow,
Abstain.
Savari,
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Song,
Yes.
Aversa,
Yes.
Wu,
I'm gonna vote no.
Ordinance 20-02, an ordinance amending Chapter 3, Section 3-12, entitled, quote, "Resident and Visitor Parking on Certain Designated Public Streets," close quote, specifically Section 3-12.7 of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Councilperson Sparrow?
Yes?
Sabari?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
Song?
Yes.
Aversa? Wolf?
Yes.
Yes.
Ordinance 20-03, an ordinance amending the code of the Borough of Englewood Cliffs, Section 2-13, entitled, quote, "Police Department," close quote, to amend Section 2.13-8.1, entitled, "Procedure Sworn Positions/Patrol Officers," close
So
quote.
moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Councilperson Sparrow?
Yes?
Sabari?
Yes.
O.
Yes.
Song?
Yes.
Aversa?
Yes.
Wolf?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the coronavirus, we had a meeting this morning of the Office of Emergency Management for the town. I attended, myself, attended Mark Neville, Lieutenant Tracy, and now Captain Wicker attended. And we just went through our checklist of what needs to be done as the situation changes and who needs to be notified. We also had jointly sent a letter out earlier this week to borough residents explaining what we're doing. And I just want to mention a couple of things. One, if you don't feel well, call the police department or EMS or hospital. Don't show up at the front window like somebody did the other night, which requires us to disinfect immediately everything. So it doesn't really do you any good to come in person. Number two, we don't know where this will take us in the next days and weeks. There is a possibility that non-vital municipal government functions will be shut down pending resolution of the matter. But rest assured, vital functions, police, fire, emergency services, maybe tax collection, I don't know, will continue. So just, we'll keep you informed as we understand what's happening. Currently today, there are 2 states of emergency in New Jersey. There's a state of emergency and a health emergency has been declared. So does anybody want to talk about the committees or council members? So yes, we'll email blast to everyone, and we will post that on our website as well. And for people without internet, we may do a reverse 911 call if it's important enough. Which I imagine it will be. Anybody want to talk about the committees?
You covered mine.
Okay, I covered yours. Stole your thunder, sorry. And I believe also the senior activities have been stopped or curtailed significantly.
I don't know if
I know the trips have been stopped.
Yes.
But we are most concerned about our senior citizens because the virus affects that group of the population most adversely. So let me just go down the line here. Ramon, Councilwoman Sabari, do you have anything to report?
Lizette's going to be reaching out to different committee heads to start to go over the budgets that we've been receiving. And then we'll have an open workshop.
Councilwoman No, anything to report? Nothing. Councilman Song?
Nothing.
Councilman Aversa?
I guess we'll have to have some communications as to what we're going to do as far as recreation goes moving forward, but the governing body will have to decide what we do with Borough Hall and schools, et cetera.
Well, we are canceling K-12 on Saturday. It's the last day. And I'm going to send an email to the parents that I had medals for the kids. They can come to Borough Hall pick up the medals rather than being at school.
Nothing to note? Councilman Wu?
No, nothing to report.
The one thing I forgot to mention was that the chief has kept me apprised of the promotion process for the two captains, and I support his decision, and I wish the two officers all the best, and I congratulate Captains Wicker and McDermott. And yes, Ms. Duffy has also kept me informed. Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, be safe.